He let her into his van. That was the last mistake she ever made. There is a place people don't talk about. Not because it is a secret prison with high walls or armed guards. Not because it is hidden deep in the forest or buried underground. People don't talk about it because, in a strange way, it feels like it doesn't exist at all. I didn't believe it either. Not until the day I was taken there. My name is Daniel. Before all of this, I was just a normal person. I had a job, a small apartment, and a simple life. Nothing special. Nothing dangerous. If you saw me on the street, you wouldn't look twice. And maybe that's why I was chosen. The day started like any other. There were no warnings, no signs, no strange feeling in the air. Just a normal day that slowly turned into something I could never escape. They came in a van. No sirens, no loud noise, no chaos. Just a quiet stop outside my building. When they knocked on my door, they didn't shout. They didn't break anything. They just waited, calm, patient, like they already knew I would open it. And I did. 2 men stood there, plain clothes, no anger on their faces, no rush in their movements. They told me to come with them. That was it. No explanation, no argument. Something about the way they stood, the way they look at me, made it feel like saying no wasn't even an option. So I went. The ride was quiet, too quiet. I tried to ask questions, but they didn't answer. They didn't even look at me. It felt like I wasn't really there, like I was already gone. After some time, the van stopped. The doors opened slowly, and bright light filled the inside. "Get out," one of them said. That was the only thing they told me. When I stepped outside, I expected to see a prison. Tall fences, cameras, guards watching from towers. But there was nothing like that. Just a long gray building standing alone. No fences, no walls, no signs. It looked empty. That was the first moment I felt something was wrong. Not dangerous in the way you expect. Just wrong. The air felt heavy, like it was pressing down on me. Not hot, not cold, just uncomfortable. Like the place didn't want me there. Or maybe it knew I was coming. They walked me inside without touching me. That was the strange part. No handcuffs, no pushing, no force. And somehow, that made it worse. Because it felt like I didn't have a choice anyway. The hallway inside was long and silent. No voices, no footsteps, no sounds at all except my own breathing. And even that felt too loud. We passed several doors, all closed. No windows, no signs of life. I kept looking around, hoping to see another person, a guard, a prisoner, anyone, but there was no one. It felt like the building was empty. They stopped at one of the doors and opened it. Inside, one of them said. That was it. No explanation, no warning. I stepped into the room, and before I could turn around, the door closed behind me. I didn't hear it lock. That made me pause. I stood there for a moment, waiting for something to happen. Nothing did. The room was small. Concrete walls, a bed in the corner, a sink, a single light above me. That was all. No bars, no camera, no guard watching. Just nothing. At first, I thought it had to be temporary. Maybe they were processing me. Maybe someone would come in and explain everything. So I waited. Minutes passed. Then more minutes. I sat on the bed. Still nothing. No footsteps outside. No voices in the hallway. Not even the sound of a door opening somewhere far away. It was like the whole building had no one in it. After a while, I walked to the door and knocked. No answer. I knocked again, louder this time. Still nothing. Then I tried shouting. "Hello? Is anyone there?" My voice echoed slightly, then disappeared. No response. That's when the first feeling of fear started to grow. Not sudden, not sharp, slow, quiet, like something crawling inside your mind. I stepped back and looked around the room again. Everything was still the same. The bed, the sink, the light. Nothing had changed, but something felt different. I didn't know what it was yet. Then, without warning, I noticed something. There was a tray on the floor. I froze. I hadn't heard the door open. I hadn't seen anyone come in. But the tray was there. Food, water, just sitting there like it had always been there. I walked closer, slowly. My heart started beating faster. How did it get there? I looked at the door. Still closed. I checked the walls. Nothing. No hidden panels. No openings. Nothing that could explain it. That was the moment everything changed. This wasn't a normal prison. There were no guards watching me. No one checking on me. No one talking to me. And somehow, things were still happening. I started looking for cameras. There had to be something. Someone had to be watching. But I couldn't find anything. No lens. No wires. No sign of surveillance. It didn't make sense. And that's when a thought came into my mind. A quiet, terrifying thought. Maybe no one was watching. Maybe no one needed to. I sat back on the bed and stared at the door. The silence felt heavier now, deeper, like it was pressing into my head. And for the first time since I arrived, I understood something. This place wasn't designed to hold people. It was designed to erase them, not physically, not all at once, but slowly, quietly, piece by piece, until nothing was left. And the worst part? No one outside would ever know, because in this place, you don't just get locked away, you disappear. By the next morning, the town did not feel the same anymore. The sun came up like always. People opened their shops. Cars passed on the road. But something invisible had changed. There was fear now, quiet, heavy fear that sat in people's chests. Everyone was talking about the woman. No one knew her name at first, just the woman by the bridge. But the police were already moving fast. Detective Matt Pitcher did not sleep that night. He sat in a small office. Papers spread everywhere. Photos, notes, maps, coffee cups left half empty. He kept thinking about one thing, the tire marks. They were fresh. That meant the killer had not gone far. Whoever did this is still close, he said quietly. Another officer looked at him. You think he's still in town? Matt nodded slowly. I don't think he ever left. The first real clue came from something small. A broken piece of a car. It was found near the place where the woman's body had been dragged. At first, it didn't look like much. Just plastic. Dirty. Cracked. But Matt held it carefully. This matters, he said. He called someone he trusted. A man who knew cars better than anyone. Within minutes, the answer came back. It's from a van, the man said. Old model. Full size. Probably damaged recently. Matt felt something cold move through him. A van, he repeated. Now everything changed. A van was easier to track than a person. It had size, shape, color. It could be seen. Officers spread out across the town. They went to gas stations, shops, bars, parking lots. Have you seen a damaged van? They asked again and again. Most people said no. But then someone said yes. A worker at a small store spoke up. I think I saw one, he said slowly. Dark color. Looked messed up on the side. Matt leaned forward. When? Yesterday. Afternoon. Where did it go? The man pointed down the road. That way? Now they had direction. Now they had time. Now they had something real. Hours passed. The search grew wider. Cameras were checked. Footage was reviewed again and again. Most of it showed nothing. Cars passing. People walking. Normal life. But then, there! An officer shouted. On the screen, a van appeared. Dark. Slightly damaged. It moved across the frame slowly. Matt stepped closer. Played again. They watched it again. Same van. Same damage. Same direction. That's it, Matt said. They ran the license plate. The name came back quickly. Stephen Matthew Wolfe. The room went quiet. Matt stared at the name. Something about it felt wrong. He opened the file. What he saw made his stomach drop. Stephen Wolfe was not new to crime. Not even close. He had a past. A dark one. Years ago, when he was still young, he had already taken a life. Not by accident. Not by mistake. It was violent. Cold. Planned. Matt leaned back in his chair. This is not just some guy, he said. This is someone who has done this before. Another officer asked carefully, You think he did it again? Matt didn't answer right away. He looked at the screen. The van frozen in place. Then he said quietly, "I think he never stopped." That sentence changed everything. By midnight, the team moved out. They knew the van had been seen near a group of stores, a parking lot, a place where people come and go all day. Easy to hide, easy to disappear. Police cars rolled in slowly. Lights off, no sirens, just quiet movement. Then someone whispered, "I see it." There it was, the van, parked between two buildings. Still, silent, like it was waiting. Matt's heart started beating faster. "This is it," he said. Officers surrounded the area, step by step, careful, controlled, no sudden moves. They didn't know who was inside, or what he would do. "Sheriff's office," one officer shouted. "Show your hands." For a moment, nothing, no movement, no sound. Then the door opened. Slowly, a man stepped out. He didn't run. He didn't fight. He didn't even look scared. His name was Stephen Wolf. He raised his hands calmly, almost like he had been expecting this. Matt watched closely. Something felt off. People who are guilty usually act different. They panic. They argue. They try to escape. But Stephen? He was quiet. Too quiet. "Turn around." An officer said. Stephen did. He was handcuffed. No resistance. No anger. "What's going on?" Stephen asked softly. No one answered him. But then, one officer walked toward the van. He stopped and said one word. "Smell." The smell was strong. Bad. Something was wrong inside that van. Another officer looked closer. "There's damage here," he said. "Matches a broken piece." Matt stepped forward slowly. He looked inside. Dark, messy, and something else. Something you could not see, but you could feel. "This is him," Matt said quietly. Stephen sat in the police car, still calm, still quiet. "Is this your van?" Matt asked. "Yes," Stephen said. "Where were you yesterday?" Stephen shrugged slightly. "Driving around, looking for a place to sleep." His voice was normal. Too normal. Matt studied him carefully. "You ever go near the bridge?" Stephen paused for a second, then nodded. "Yeah." That answer mattered, more than Stephen realized, because now he had placed himself at the scene. Back at the station, the questioning began. A small room, bright light, a table between them. Matt sat down across from Stephen. Calm, patient. "Tell me about your day," Matt said. Stephen began to talk, slowly, casually. "I was just driving," he said, "trying to find somewhere to sleep." Matt listened, didn't interrupt, didn't push. Stephen kept talking, about roads, about getting lost, about hitting trees. "The damage on your van," Matt said. "How did that happen?" Stephen answered quickly. "I hit branches, trying to turn around." It sounded simple, too simple. Matt leaned forward slightly. "And the bridge?" Stephen looked down, then back up. "I was there." That was the moment everything changed. Because now, Stephen was not just a suspect. He was part of the story. But something didn't add up. Matt asked for Stephen's hands. He looked closely. No scratches. No cuts. Nothing. That didn't make sense. If there had been a struggle, there should be marks. Matt felt the case slipping. Not enough evidence. "Not yet." He stepped out of the room, closed the door. "We don't have enough," he said. Time was running out. But outside, something else was happening. People were starting to talk, and what they were about to say would change everything again. By the next morning, everything was different, not just for the police, for everyone. The town was quiet in a way it had never been before. People spoke in low voices. Doors stayed closed longer. No one wanted to be outside after dark, because now it wasn't just a story anymore. It was real, and the man responsible was sitting in a small room at the police station. Stephen Wolf sat there, calm as ever, hands on the table, eyes steady, like nothing had happened, like this was just another day. But outside that room, everything was moving fast. Officers were following new leads. People were coming forward, and slowly, piece by piece, the The truth was starting to show itself. A woman named Tracy walked into the station. She looked nervous, scared, like she wasn't sure if she should even be there. "I was in his van," she said. The room went still. "Whose van?" an officer asked. She swallowed. "Stephen's." Now everything became serious. She explained how she had been with him just a day before, how he drove her and another man around town, how nothing seemed strange at the time. "I didn't think," she said, her voice shaking. "I didn't think he could do something like this." But he did. Then came another name, Terry. The police already knew that name. They had seen it on Stephen's phone. A call, 5 minutes long, just hours before the murder. They found Terry quickly. But Terry didn't want to talk. "I ain't saying nothing," he said. He crossed his arms, looked away, refused to answer. But the detectives didn't stop. "You knew her," one of them said. Terry's face changed slightly, just for a moment. "She didn't deserve this," the detective added quietly. That's when Terry broke. "He used to fight with her," Terry said. "Who?" the detective asked. "Stephen." Now the truth was getting closer. "She stayed in his van sometimes," Terry continued. "They argued a lot. He didn't treat her right." The room felt heavy. Now they had something real, a connection, a reason. Back in the interrogation room, Matt sat across from Stephen again. But this time, things were different. "We know about her," Matt said calmly. Stephen said nothing. "We know she was in your van." Still nothing. "We know you fought." Stephen looked up slowly. "That's not true," he said. Matt leaned forward. "You were the last person with her." Stephen stayed quiet, but his eyes moved. Just a little. That was enough. Because now the lab results were ready. Inside the van, they found blood. Not a lot, but enough. They found hair. They found clothing. They found things that should not have been there. And every piece pointed to one person, Stephen. When Matt walked back into the room, he placed the evidence on the table. Slowly, carefully. "This is from your van," he said. Stephen stared at it. His calm face started to change. Just a little. "There's blood," Matt continued. "Her blood." Stephen shook his head. "I didn't kill her." Matt didn't raise his voice. Didn't get angry. "Then tell me what happened." Silence. Then Stephen spoke. "They were fighting," he said. Matt didn't interrupt. "There was a man, her boyfriend," Stephen continued. "He killed her. Not me." It sounded like a story, like something made up. But Matt listened anyway. "I just drove," Stephen said. "I didn't know what to do." "Then why didn't you call the police?" Matt asked. Stephen had no answer, because there wasn't one. Later that day, the final report came in. The truth was clear now, painfully clear. The injuries, the evidence, everything pointed to one thing. This was not an accident, not a fight, not someone else. It was Stephen. When Matt walked back into the room one last time, he didn't sit down. "It's over," he said. Stephen looked at him. For the first time, he looked scared. "You murdered her," Matt said. Stephen shook his head again, but weaker this time. "I didn't," he whispered. But the truth didn't need his words anymore, because it was already there, in the evidence, in the van, in everything he tried to hide. The trial didn't take long. The jury saw everything, heard everything, and in the end, they made their decision. Guilty, not just of murder, but of something worse, something deeper. The way he did it, the way he tried to hide it, the things found in that van. It showed something dark, something broken. The sentence came next, the highest one possible. And just like that, it was over. Or at least, that's what people thought. Because even after everything, one question remained. Was she the only one? Inside that van, they found things that didn't belong to just one person. Clothes, items, traces. Some didn't match her. And Stephen never explained them. Not once. Even now, he refuses to talk. And somewhere out there, there might be more stories, more victims, more people who were never found. That's the part that never leaves. Not for Matt, not for the town, not for anyone who knows the case. Because some endings aren't really endings. Some stories don't close. They just stop, and the truth stays buried, waiting, silent, just like the place where she was found, and just like the man who put her there.